headdress goes really well with your privilege.
Yeah, fuck white people, right? So, BuzzFeed. Now, before you decide to assume that I naturally hate BuzzFeed, I actually enjoy BuzzFeed. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can get a little offhand sometimes. Why are people drinking their piss, BuzzFeed? But overall, they have some entertaining stuff, and I'll admit that this scene from one of their videos was actually a nice little play at the radical left.
You're only thinking within the scope of your white, cisgendered, mostly heterosexual experience?
But even with their small amount of entertaining videos, BuzzFeed is, without a doubt, very, very racist. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. Reverse racism isn't real. There's no such thing as reverse racism because racism towards white people is just racism. And no, I'm not white. I'm as brown and dark as they fucking come. I look more like these dudes than I do this guy, but do I hate crackers? I mean white people? Nope. Because hating an entire ethnicity of people based on their skin tone and the actions of some people in that group is called racism. And I am not a racist. So then what does BuzzFeed have to say about our lovely Caucasian friends?
Why do you guys like headdresses so much?
Because they look nice? I don't know, why else would they want to wear them?
A headdress goes really well with your privilege. Why do you always ask me how native I am?
Why should I have to prove myself to you?
No one is asking you to prove yourself to anybody. It's just a question. You don't have to assume things that people don't mean.
It's so weird to have someone immediately want to quantify my identity.
What? What does that even mean? No one's trying to undermine or measure your identity here.
Should I put some war paint on? Should I make my hair longer?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that white people were the authority on what Native Americans look like.
They're not the authority on what Native Americans look like. You're just stereotyping a massive group of people because that's what people tell you to do, and you blindly follow it.
What's up with the Washington R words?
Washington R words? I mean, come on, man. It's Washington Redskins. I can see where people are coming from with this a little bit, but R word? Really?
What's it like seeing yourself accurately portrayed in the media?
In every single movie and TV show and news outlet.
Well, I gotta say, this guy is being pretty negatively portrayed in the media right now. I mean, he's still white. That doesn't mean that the media can't portray him negatively.
How are you enjoying our land?
It's pretty nice, right? I would love some of that land too.
Anything else I can get you? Cold beverage?
You're welcome.
Well, you're also on that land too. They're not pushing you off anymore. Which is why I kind of understand this argument, but it's just as much of a cop-out as the argument that Egyptians and Turkish people should hate each other because of a slave treaty between their lands thousands of years ago. These white people, right now, have no impact on the past. What are you trying to accomplish by letting them know what they already know about the past?
When you see the word white, what comes to mind?
Yeah, white. It's a color. It's literally a fucking color. You know, I love how they just cringe and grimace just at the sound of what may be a reference to the Caucasian ethnicity of their own species.
A race, some good, some bad. Can't be critical of all whites, but there is a strong element of racism in white Australia.
You know, that's literally the best way to put it. This guy knows his shit and seems to be the only person out of all of these people that know what they're talking about.